Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous videos, we have discussed the equivalent circuit of the induction motor in the DQ frame of reference that is shown in front of you. We have derived this equivalent circuit in detail. Now we are going to continue with that and we are going to establish an equivalence of power between different frame of references. While driving the induction motor model, we have seen the conversion from ABC frame of reference to DQ frame of reference under different conditions. So now we will see that how the power of the ABC frame of reference can be related with the power of the DQ frame of reference. The power input to a three-phase motor that is in ABC frame of reference must be equal to the power input to the two-phase machine, because we are virtually representing that three-phase induction motor with the two-phase, that is Q and D or alpha and beta, depending upon the reference model that we will be selecting, either the stationary frame of reference, rotating frame of reference, or the synchronously rotating frame of reference. So the power input to the three-phase motor has to be equal to the power input to the two-phase machine to have the meaningful interpretation in the modeling, analysis and simulation. So three-phase instantaneous power input to the machine can be represented with the help of this equation, that VABC transpose into IABC, where VABC is representing the instantaneous phase A, B and C voltages, and IABC is representing the instantaneous ABC current. Some textbooks also represented VABC into IABC transpose. So you can do in that way as well. But we will be considering VABC transpose into IABC. So this can be written as like that: VES, VBS, VCS into IAS, IBS and ICS. The product of the phase A voltage and the current, product of the phase B voltage and the current, and for the phase C, the sum of all these will give you the three-phase power, instantaneous power. Now we have discussed the transformations and we know that IABC can be written as TABC matrix inverse into IQDO, where this is the transformation matrix that was used when we were converting the ABC frame of reference into QDO frame of reference using the Clark transformation. Clark or the Park transformation. So similarly, you can write down the equation for the voltage. That voltage in ABC frame of reference will be given by this equation if you know the quantities in the QDO frame of reference. So now you can translate this equation in terms of the DQO. How you can get it done? Because we know that this VABC transpose with the help of this equation can be written like that, and that you can see over here, VQDO transpose into TABC matrix inverse transpose. And similarly, this current ABC can be written in terms of QDO frame of reference like this. And if you simplify this equation, so you can write it like this. So this is your power equation in the QDO frame of reference, arbitrary frame of reference, right? So VQS is the QX stator voltage, IQS QX stator current, DX stator voltage, DX stator current, and these are the zero sequence components. Now for balance system, we know that the zero sequence components are 0. So this is 0, this is 0. So the power in DQ frame of reference will be given by this equation, right? So power equation for a three-phase machine represented in terms of DQ parameters, or you can say the three-phase machine converted into the two-phase equivalent machine. So the power will be represented by this one. You can look at this transformation in another way. that is based upon the space vector notation. So the complex power is given by this equation in the dq of frame of reference, or in terms of space vector, that will be 3 by 2 into the voltage space vector into the current space vector conjugate. So the active power is defined as 3 by 2 of the real part of this product, the voltage space vector and the current space vector. And now if we look at this set of axes that will be using for the analysis of the machine, the q axis is leading the d axis by the angle of 90 degree, and the vector will be represented by that q minus jd. So if we consider it as the stator voltage, so we can write it like that: vqs minus jvds, that is this stator voltage vector, and then the current, stator current vector, iqs plus jids. Why plus? Because we are supposed to consider the conjugate. So we are going to take the dot product. So if we take the dot product, we will be getting this equation, and finally simplifying, the real part of this will be equal to this one, that is 3 by 2 into vqs iqs vds into ids. That is exactly the same that we discussed over here. So either you can use this approach, or you can represent the power in the complex form like that, complex power in the space vector form like that, and from there you can derive the expression for the active power that will be basically consumed. The imaginary part of this one, here we have taken the real part. If you take the imaginary part, that will be the reactive power. So reactive power will be 3 by 2 into imaginary part of the vi conjugate, and this is the dot product. So if you solve that one, you will be getting this expression. This is the expression for the reactive power. But at the moment we will be discussing about this P. This is important for us. Now let's discuss it using the model of the induction motor, though that we have derived in the previous videos for arbitrary frame of reference. So Q axis stator and the D axis stator voltage can be represented with the help of these equations. These are derived in the previous videos. You can refer to those videos where this P is representing the derivative. This is the derivative. The derivative of the flux linkages plus the voltages induced because of the frame of references, speed of the frame of reference, rotating frame of reference, and the ohmic voltage drop. So this is the equation for the Q axis and the D axis. Now what we are going to do, that we are going to use these equations for VQS and VDS over here in this equation. We have this VQS and we have this VDS. So we are going to use these equations in this power equation that we have derived. So if you replace this VQS, so this is the expression for VQS, right, into IQS, and then taking this VDS in arbitrary frame of reference into IDS. So now if we simplify this one, so you will get this equation: 3 by 2 into RS IQS square plus IDS square. Which terms it is? This is basically this part. Here you can see IQS square with RS, and then IDS square from here. So these two terms have been considered over here. So let's mark it done. Then the derivative part, the derivative of phi QS into, just consider this one, this term, phi QS and its product with IQS. Then consider this part, derivative of phi ds and its product with IDS. So you will get this one. You can write it like this. How to write it like this? Just consider this phi ds. What is this phi ds? That is the product of the inductance, dx is inductance into dx is current. So when it is multiplied with IDS, so you are going to get the square, LD into IDS square, this term. And similarly, when you are going to represent in terms of inductance and the current, so LQ into IQS multiplied with IQS, so you are going to get this term. So this and this has been written over here, and the rest of our part is this one, omega C into phi ds into IQS minus omega C phi QS into IDS, so that you can see over here, right? Okay, now let's look at this one. What is this? This is RS into I square R loss, which is the property of the resistance. So this is the power that is dissipated across the resistance of your stator. So this is the resistive loss, and the energy stored in the inductor is half Li square. You know about that one, electromagnetic energy. So this term is basically representing that thing, electromagnetic energy. So this is the resistive loss, this is the electromagnetic power or the energy. Basically it's a power equation, so I will call it power, electromagnetic power. So this is basically the term which is representing the power which is converted from electrical to the mechanical form. So electromagnetic power is defined using this term. This is the electromagnetic power, because this is the ohmic law, this is the power stored in the inductance of your machine, electromagnetic power. So this is the only portion which can be converted into the mechanical form. So we are going to call it that this is the electromagnetic power, this part, and 3 by 2 from here. Okay. So from the basics of the machine, you must know that the electrical angle is P by 2 into mechanical angle, and similarly the electrical speed is P by 2 times the mechanical speed. So I can represent this speed, that is the speed of the arbitrary frame of reference, like this. Considering this one in terms of this, right? So this omega C is basically equal to P by 2 into theta m. So we get this equation. Basically we are relating the mechanical speed with the electrical speed, and that is given by this expression, that electrical speed is equal to P by 2 into theta into omega m. So this is basically the electrical speed. So this can be written as like P by 2 into omega m in terms of number of poles, because omega m is the mechanical speed of your machine. So how it is translated in terms of the omega c, that is related by this. So we get the expression for the electromagnetic power, and we know that P is equal to T omega. So T is equal to P by omega. And if we are talking about electromagnetic torque, so P electromagnetic divided by omega m. So from here this you can say omega m will be cancelled out, and the torque expression will be this one in terms of the flux of the stator, d and q axis flux of the stator, and the current of your stator. So you can represent your torque like that. We know that the d-axis flux linkages are equal to Ls into Ids plus Lm into Idr. If you look at the equivalent circuit of your induction machine, this is Lm, this is LLS, leakage inductance of the stator side, leakage inductance of the rotor side, and the total inductance from the stator side Ls, that is equal to LLS plus Lm, and similarly the total inductance from the rotor side is Lr, that is equal to LLR plus Lm. So the current on this side is, if you are considering the d-axis, so this is IDR in arbitrary frame of reference, and over here is IQR in arbitrary frame of reference. So you can write down this equation for the flux linkage. because IDS is the current that is passing through these two inductances from the stator side, and the rotor IDR is only passing through this one because it is linked with the stator. So IDR with LM, and LLS plus LM is equal to LS into IDS. So this is the flux linkage equation for the DXs, and similarly for the QXs you can write. So now you can use these equations, phi ds over here and the phi qs over here, and you can write this expression like this, the torque equation like this, and if you simplify you will get this equation: 3 by 2 into p by 2 into lm idr iqs minus lm iqr ids, and taking lm common out you can write it like this. So you can represent your torque with the help of this equation, or you can represent your torque with the help of this equation. There are many other ways to express your torque. These two are commonly used, which we have seen above, these two equations. But you can represent the torque in many other ways. I am just going to show you that how you can represent your torque. You should be able to drive at your own end. So torque equation can also be written like that: 3 by 2 p by 2 into phi dr in the rotor flux and the rotor currents. So you can represent it like that: 3 by 2 p by 2, the cross product of the phi r and the ir. That will give you this equation, where phi r is equal to phi qr minus j phi dr. Similarly, if we want to express the torque in terms of the magnetizing flux, that is the flux, let me draw the diagram over here again. Magnetizing or the mutual flux, this is Lm. So if you know the flux of this one, of this part, the mutual flux phi m, if you take its cross product with the stator current Is, so you will get the torque. Or you can take phi m and its cross product with the rotor current, you can get the torque equation, because it is representing, phi m is representing the coupled flux, coupled between stator and the rotor. So either you can take its product with the stator to get the torque, or its product with the rotor current to get the torque. Or looking from the rotor side, cross product of the rotor flux and the rotor current will be the torque, and looking from the stator side, cross product of the stator and the stator current will be the rotor, electromagnetic torque. So you can have all of these equations completely from the stator side, completely from the rotor side, based upon the magnetization or the mutual coupling. You can also write in terms of currents, as we have seen above, because sometimes it is difficult to evaluate these flux linkages. So this equation gives you the torque completely in terms of measurable quantities, IQS, IDR. You can measure the ABC current in the stator and the rotor, and you can determine that one. However, it's difficult to look at the rotor current, but it's measurable. Similarly, you can represent your torque in terms of stator flux and the stator current, as we have discussed over here, right? So here is shown that how these cross products are equal to the electromagnetic torque. So let's take the example of phi s and is. So if we expand this and write it like that, similarly this one, so you know that that cross product is given by this equation in the determinant form. I, j and k are the unit vectors. So if you simplify this one considering this notation, so we can write down the torque equation like that, and in terms of magnitude this will be like that we have derived above, right? So torque basically depends upon how much flux of the rotor is linked with the stator and how much flux of the stator is linked with the rotor. If you know that information, you can also write some other expressions of the torque as well. The mechanical equation of the torque is this one. The torque because of the inertia of your machine, the frictional torque and the load torque should be equal to the electromagnetic torque. So from here you can say load torque should be equal to electromagnetic torque minus the torque for inertia minus the frictional torque. If that equilibrium is there, then your machine will be stable one. And if you want to accelerate your machine, your electromagnetic torque should be more than this one, so then your machine will be accelerating. And if your electromagnetic torque is reduced, then your machine will be deaccelerating. So now, considering this video and the previous videos, we have discussed the model of the induction motor in detail along with the power equivalence between different frame of references. Now, using that information combined together, we can represent the induction motor in arbitrary frame of reference with the help of this one. This figure gives you all the steps which are performed. So let's discuss this one. You are going to apply ABC voltages to your induction motor. So first of all, you are going to translate this ABC voltages into DSQS using the transformation matrix TABC, that is the Clark transformation. And what is this S? This S is representing the stationary frame of reference. Means your Q and D are fixed while you are performing this transformation. A, B and C are marked over here. So you get the stationary frame quantities. Then you multiply it with e raised power minus j theta c, where theta c is the angle at certain instant with the phase A of the rotating frame of reference. So you have this A, B and C, and at certain instant of time your Q is over here and the D is over here, and this is angle theta c. And we have discussed that in the previous videos, that how we can translate from stationary frame of reference to the rotating frame of reference, arbitrarily rotating frame of reference. So you are going to multiply with e raised power j theta c. So to multiply that one, what you need to have sine of theta e plus sine of theta c plus cos of theta c. If you consider the arbitrary frame of reference, if you know the sine theta c and cos theta c, you can work out for e raised power minus j theta c, and you can convert your stationary frame of reference quantities into rotating frame of reference quantity. So over here, this IQS, first of all, you are going to get the rotating frame of reference quantities, VQS in arbitrary frame and VDS in arbitrary frame. Then you have the Q axis and the D axis motor model equation. And if I go back and look at that equation, hopefully we will be having it from the previous lectures over here in these notes. Right. So we have these equations. Those relates your VQS, VDQ with the currents. The voltages and the currents are related. Rotor side and the stator side, both. So we've also developed the matrix form. You can refer to the previous videos and you can see that matrix form relating the voltages and the currents of your induction motor in arbitrary frame of reference. So you can use that set of model equation over here that will be requiring the rotor speed, the speed of the rotating frame of reference, and you can translate the voltages into the currents. So let's suppose that it is translated in terms of currents. So as you are in the rotating frame of reference, that is rotating with a certain speed omega c, so you will get the currents in the rotating frame of reference. It is rotating with omega c, and then you can translate it back into the stationary frame by having the opposite of that, e raised power plus j theta c. And definitely to implement that one, you will be requiring cos of theta c and sine of theta c. This will be required to implement this equation. And how to get this one? If you know the information of the speed of the rotating frame of reference, if you integrate that one, you will be getting the theta c, the position of the rotating frame of reference at certain instant of time, and then with the help of the PLL you can get cos of theta c and sin of theta c. So those will be fed to this block and it will be converting the rotating frame of reference quantities into the stationary frame of reference quantities. So you get the stationary frame of reference currents. And if you know the stationary frame of reference current, you can use the inverse Clark transformation, that is TABC matrix inverse. If you multiply it with this, you are going to get ABC frame of reference quantities. Right? Okay, now if you know these parameters, you know the IQS, you know the IDS that you have computed looking at the model of the induction motor. So those quantities are required over here, and similarly, if somehow you can work out the rotor flux, so you have the stator current and the rotor flux, so you can use the torque equation as we have discussed in the previous slide. The torque is 3 by 2 into P by 2, the cross product of the rotor flux and the rotor current. And similarly, you can adopt those equations which are based upon IDS and the phi curve. So you can implement the torque equation over here and you can get the electromagnetic torque, TEM. So from that you will have to subtract the load torque, right? If you subtract that load torque, so assuming that for the time being there is no frictional loss and there is no torque required for the inertia, so simply multiplying it with this P by 2, you can convert it into the using this integration into omega r, and this omega r is fed back. So you have the equation for all of these ones. Basically this part, this whole part is implementing this equation, this one basically. So if you know these quantities, you can find out the electromagnetic torque, and from the torque you can get the speed as well, because we know that P is equal to T omega. So if you know the information about the parameters of your motor, so you can develop the signal flow diagram, the processing diagram, and how you will be computing all of these things. So what is this? This is basically your induction motor model, and that is shown over here. So you have these equations, you have the currents. If you have the currents, you can find out the voltages. If you have the voltages, you can find out the current if you know the machine parameters. So if you know the machine parameters over here, if you can implement the model of the induction motor over here, and you can get the conversion from current to the voltage or from voltage to the current. So we were having the voltages over here, we have converted them into the current, and once they are converted into the current, then you can apply the transformations to get the current in ABC frame of reference. So this is a flow diagram from ABC to stationary frame to rotating frame, then the machine model. Machine model will be requiring the rotor speed as well, because you can see over here you have the omega r. So this will be the input to that block, omega r, and the omega c, the speed of the reference frame. So you will be getting all of these estimations. So in this way you can implement the model of the induction motor in the MATLAB Simulink, and you must be able to do it, because now you, from the previous videos, you know about all of these transformations. We have discussed this part, we have discussed this part, we have developed the induction motor model in detail in different frame of references, and the only thing that was required over here, cos of theta e and sin of theta e, now you can easily develop. If you integrate this omega c, you will be getting theta e, and using the PLL you can get that one, and you can then translate your currents into rotating frame or in the stationary frame and into ABC frame of reference. And similarly you can implement the torque equation. If you get this information, you can complete the loop. Okay, so let's conclude this video. We have basically discussed the power equivalence in the different frame of references, and then we have seen the torque equation, and then we have the complete signal flow for the induction motor. And this is very important because we will be using it later on in the upcoming videos to discuss the field oriented control of the induction motor. So that's all from this video. Thank you very much.